got a little treat in the mail from Amazon. I got Clive Barker's Books of Blood, which I know the lighting is shitty because I'm not shooting this on the good camera. But if you take a look, you can see some of the artwork on there. Very, very good. There's the back. I'm going to do a review of each story in this book because it's an anthology of volumes 1 through 3 in this book. I got a good deal on it. I got it for 99 cents on Amazon. Most of the time this will go for at least $20, $25, so I got a good deal. Had to wait a couple weeks because it's shipped from the UK, I believe. Anyways, I'm a big Clive Barker fan, and one thing I can say about Clive Barker's writing is, I'll give you a warning, it's for adult people because there's a lot of sex in there. There's a lot of sexual imagery. There's a lot of violent imagery, and the whole sexuality and the horror and the whole imagery in his own little world that he presents is, I'm a big fan of that, and I really like the way how he describes sex as well as some of the more violent horror stuff. You know, the first story is called Books of Blood, or Book of Blood, and it's a setup to the other stories. There's this guy who claims in the story to be able to communicate with the dead on a highway. You know, he's able to go to the highway of the dead. And basically what I don't want to spoil the end of the story, but it sets up how you end up reading and how the other stories kind of come full circle. One thing I can say about this particular story is it's similar to the way how there's certain writers, when I read them, I read certain writers because I get kind of sucked in. And what I mean by that is I can actually see what he's describing on the page. So whenever I read it, I can paint a picture in my mind and see what's going on. So whether I'm reading, you know, one of Clive Barker's books, whether I'm reading one of the Books of Blood, or whether I'm going for a walk and listening to an audio book, I can see visually what he's writing or what he's describing on an audio book. So that's why I like Clive Barker. I also like Stephen King, as well as H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe, because I can see what they're describing in their books, as well as whenever I listen to their audio books, I can hear what they're saying, I can feel what they're saying. Their film adaptations, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but for the most part, when it comes to Clive Barker, most of his books I read and most of his films I've seen have a certain soul to them. And, you know, I really enjoy this story. I enjoy the Books of Blood, the ones that I have read. This is my first time getting the book in whole. I read a couple stories here and there and listened to a few audiobooks of Clive Barker, which I fell asleep one time while they were playing, and I woke up to like all kinds of weird sex stuff going on and all kinds of Hellraiser stuff going on. So it was an interesting night, to say the least. But it's very entertaining, and he's one of the only authors that I could either read a book completely cover to cover or listen to a complete audiobook of, which for most authors I read, it usually is, you know, maybe a few days. But for Clive Barker, I could read cover to cover because he's so good at what he does, and just the imagery is great. I'm a big fan of Clive Barker in general. I love his paintings. I think his paintings are amazing. I like the tortured soul figures, which I want to order some of those. And I also love his films as well as his books. Very talented individual. I suggest pick this up, even if it is a little more expensive, because it's worth it. And if you can get this particular version that has volumes 1 through 3, I suggest getting that. I'm also going to watch the Cabal cut of Nightbreed, which is the director's cut of that, to see what he originally wanted to do. Sorry for picking my nose there. I just really love this book. I was so excited I got it. And that was basically my thoughts on story 1, because these are short stories, so I didn't go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil them. But they're really amazing, and just be warned that they are full of sexual imagery as well as violent acts. But I like that kind of thing, and a lot of people I know like that kind of thing. I know I got odd books when I was saying I wanted to bring 50 Shades of Grey to a book club. I don't know, I'm kind of a weird guy like that. Anyways, I'm going to have a video about Arrogant Bastard Ale, which is a craft beer I'm going to be drinking on this channel. And also talk about some movies and some professional wrestling news. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Have a great day. Ta-ta for now. And sorry for the shitty camera work today.